Thanks for doing it. We're really excited to have you on here today, John. John just stepped out of a meeting with our CEO to join us. That's how important you all are to John. So thanks again, John, for doing this. We really appreciate it.
Agents are always more important. You know
There you
that?
go.
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thanks. I feel at home in Bergen County. I went to Montclair State, so I did 4 years there, and then I stayed there and worked until I became a state trooper up until like 1996. So I was hanging out around Clifton and Bellevue and uh, where else? I don't even know where I was. Well, all around North Jersey. I know that. So when
Nice.
I hear some of those towns, I'm like, I remember that. Okay. Really cool. So,
Awesome.
Al, tell me who's on this call. You have market center leaders. Like, what is it? I see a lot of people on here. So, what's this
Yeah,
makeup?
it's just the best of the best. So we have our market center leadership. We made a big push, given your background, to get our dual career agents, but you know, as the name implies, they have dual careers. So some of them are actually working their day jobs and not able to be on live. But we're going to be sending out the recording, and then we have anywhere I've seen on here. We have some agents on here doing $100 million plus per year to a brand new agent who just started last month and just took two commercial listings in his very first month, and everybody in between. So it's a smattering of all different kind of agents, and we have about 15 police officers who are licensed with us, and we made a push to get them on the call. Some of them are also working, and some of them are on the call as well. So kind of a little bit of everybody.
Wow, awesome. So, what I like to do is make it as interactive as I can because I don't know about you, just listening to someone talk can get kind of like, okay, what's it, what's next? What's in it for me, right? So, my hope is that everybody on this call, no matter if you're a $100 million plus producer, you're new, you're dual career, you're a leader, that everyone will get something out of this call. And I thought first I would kind of go over the book since Al, you talked about it and you're giving some away. And I think we can use the book as part of our journey, kind of going through a wealth building journey, an opportunity journey, maybe kind of a limiting belief journey, which all of us probably have, and an accountability journey. And I first would say the cool thing, you guys, usually I'm talking to people in other states. You guys know that this is New Jersey State Troopers, right? Some places are like, what's that? Like, in different states, they have highway patrol or whatever. So this just happens to be our state, where I was a trooper. And I didn't even know this at the time, but when I left, no one's ever left that didn't get fired, terminated, was killed in the line of duty 3 years shy of a pension. So I was like, wow, I guess I'm special or I'm dumb, one or the other, right? I don't know. I
But
don't
you were
know
the
which one is
first.
good. What's that?
You were the first to ever do that. That's amazing.
The first, yeah, and it was so weird that when I went to tell my supervisor, uh, it was in Trenton. I'll never forget it. And I said, hey, I think I'm gonna leave. And he was like, huh? What? Like, it was like not unheard of. And he was like, take your time. And I was like, no, I thought about this for like 3 years. I'm good. But and then they didn't know what to do with my gun. They didn't know to do with anything because I was resigning and how to even handle a pension and all that stuff that you don't really earn yet because I didn't do the time. So you guys will like it. So can you go to the next slide?
We can do
And
anything, John.
thank you. So the reason why I think this is an important topic is that some of you might be a real estate agent today, and you might not even like it, right? I will tell you, for me, it wasn't like I woke up every day, I can't wait to go to that open house, or I can't wait to, get my lockbox stolen and get all those calls all different times of the night, or, all the stuff that comes, that what we do as realtors, right? And for me, I did a lot of that because I was more of a units guy, not a volume guy. So I did I probably averaged over 100 units for 20 straight years. I still do. I have a $60 million team today. I'm not highly involved to the day to day, but we always did a lot of units. And I don't know if I was in love with it, but I was in love with the process, if that makes sense. Meaning, I liked the business parts of it. I didn't love the sales parts of it. but I was good at it, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys and gals are good at it, and that's why Al was celebrating your success. But also, I knew real estate was a vehicle to get me what I want. And I think if anyone on this call, if you're sitting there now and maybe you know what you want, maybe you've been doing this for a long time and you're tired of doing it and you want to know what's next, I do think that, especially in this company, I'm a perfect example. An agent that went from just a mega agent to the vice president of growth for the entire company. I would tell you that part of that process is that you got to nail step one, which for all of us is being an agent. And Al, you know this. I mean, usually when we look for opportunities for team leaders, OPs, for regional directors, anything, you guys will hear it here. It's usually you have to be a mega agent. Like that's the requirement. Because if you're an Omega is considered a $10 million producer. So if you can create that kind of business, hire an admin, transaction coordinator, all that, you got some sort of sense of how to do, things that probably would be the, requirement to lead, other people and things of that nature. So I think as you start seeing this leaving six figures journey, if I wasn't happy being a state trooper, and I'm pretty good at our sales business, but I didn't love it, I had to start making decisions, right? Like I have a family, at the time when I actually left, I had 4 kids and a wife. So I'm like, is it selfish of me to leave? Right? Is that silly? Is that smart? But let me add some other things. The one thing everyone on this call should do, and we're going to talk about it, you should be wealth building, meaning everyone on this call should own some sort of property other than your primary. And if you don't do that, you should be flipping homes. You should be doing something because every single one of you have this thing called the MLS, or information of property values and what they sell for and neighborhood information. And what, if you purchase it for X and you can fix it, or it can rent for a certain amount of money, you can make a surplus and actually eventually start compounding wealth from that. So I was doing that along the way. And so my decision might not be as hard as others, but it was a decision that I was making $115,000 a year, right? And I got a free car. I don't know about you guys, free car and gas in New Jersey is not a bad thing. I probably think that's the thing I miss the most, more than anything, is the gas and the car.
Is it a free cop car or a free regular car?
No, it was a regular car. It was undercover car.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know.
Funny if you have a car with the lights on it and you take that.
No, I pull up. You wouldn't even know I was there. It looked just like everybody else. So this is where I want to start getting interactive with you. So if I told you all that you're making $115,000 a year, you got your free car, you got your great benefits. I don't know about you guys, government benefits are not bad at all. You got all that stuff, and you're 3 years shy of receiving about this close to $60,000 a year for life. And if you're like me, you're going to live to about 106, 107 years old. You're going to make a lot of money. My question to you in the chat box, yes or no, would you leave a multi-million-dollar pension 3 years shy of receiving it? Yes or no? All right, they're coming in here, Al. All right, so who's willing to tell me why they say yes? And you can get off the mute and share. Why? Whoever said yes, would someone be willing to say why? Yes.
I'll say why.
Okay.
Because if I'm not happy with what I'm doing, it doesn't matter how much money you're going to give me, my life is going to suck. So I want a good life. We all deserve a good life. And so if I have other avenues that I can go and get it, I would. I left a corporate job to do real estate. So with making a lot of money, why not?
I love that, Cheryl. So now would you factor in your family, if you're the breadwinner or whatever, would you factor that in?
Yeah.
Even if you're not happy?
Well, yeah, I don't think that you should just wake up one day and just say, that's it, I quit. I think you have to have some sort of a plan and make sure you have, some reserves in the bank to pay the bills while you're getting yourself started. I think that you have to give this thought. So I'm not just saying for people to wake up one day and say, I'm not happy, goodbye, because that's irresponsible. But, yeah.
I
No,
think,
it's
can
great
I,
answer.
can I interject? I think that
Please.
what you wanted to achieve, you must have had a plan, and knowing that 60 a year for life is not going to get you where you want to go. And so in real estate, there's no ceiling to what you can do or what you can accomplish. In real estate, you know that you can make $1 million a year if you want. And 60K, I mean, that's Social Security, or not even, So to me, being your age, I would definitely, to what Cheryl's saying, but you have to love real estate too, not just go in real estate because it makes more money, but you have to love it and love people and know what comes with it, and maybe make the transition while you're a cop, because I know there are police officers that are also, they have their license and they're selling real estate. So they don't just leave it. I don't know if you did that. Did you just stop and then go? Or did you have your realtor license, sell houses while you were working in the police force?
Yeah, I'll dive into that. And thank you, Cheryl and Paul. I think they're both great points. And this group is, I would say you guys think smart and you think with common sense, and you really, even in your the way you shared that. Unfortunately, years ago when I got the advice, I had more people that thought more like old school, right? Great government job, it's safe. Why would you do that? I was raised like that too. Real safe stuff, right? You don't take chances, you don't take risks. Like the new generation, they want it tomorrow. They're not waiting for it. They want, so it's a different time. And I grew up, I'm 52 years old, so I think I grew up a little bit in a different era when I was okay with waiting my time, getting my pension. And I would share with you too, is that I started to see that retirement wasn't what everyone said, right? I don't know if you got friends that ever retired from like a teacher job or a police or a firefighter, nurse, whatever you call it. But, none of them retire. they actually work harder. And it's like, wow, they're not like, multimillionaires, and it seems like they're really still working, and they're, it's not like everyone said, right? That big vision of the picket fence and you go off into the wilderness and everything's great. I didn't see that play out when I watched guys retire when I was a state trooper. So, Patricia, you have your hands up?
Yeah, I had my hand up. I left public school teaching. I hung on until the last day because I needed, as a primary breadwinner, I needed lifetime health care. So I would have gone in a heartbeat if I didn't need that lifetime health care. But I did build a real estate career in the last 10 years of teaching, knowing that it was time for a transition. And I am of your generation, and people do think it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And, the other thing too, and I'm going to get to the people that said no, it's a math equation. Really, if you think about it. And Paula, you alluded to it a little bit, because at the end of the day, a pension, it's a number that I already know what it is, right? Paula, you already know my pension's 60,000. That's if I stayed fit 20 years. And if I stayed 25 years, it would have been, let's say 95, 100,000 plus health benefits. But I still know what that is. Real estate, so far I've 25x'd my earnings, since I left. What I will say too is that's where, and I'm going to go back to this later, talking about mentors and people you trust. You are the average of the 5 people you hang with. You're the people that you surround yourself with, because the people I surrounded myself with were cops. So their advice was like, are you nuts? Are you crazy? And then when I asked like my accountant and a couple of my other friends that I wasn't talking to too much, some attorney buddy of mine, they just said, what's the math say? What's, what do you have saved? What's your reserves? What is your plan? Do you have a plan? And if you read, thanks to Al and his team, you'll read the book. I kind of give you a plan, right? It's my plan, and I think it could be anyone's plan. But really, it starts becoming a math equation, and my math equation was 115,000 for 3 years. That's what I would have left, which was 345,000. Could I make that up if I got 40 hours a week back? And the answer is absolutely. I don't know about you guys. How anyone here, Cheryl, I could see you're a go-getter because you were already being commended about something you did in your business. I'm assuming if I gave you 40 hours a week back, on top of everything that you do now, you could probably do some really good stuff, and financially, with your family, with everything, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll take that on all feet.
So that's where you got to start thinking like the common sense part. And sometimes we don't, right? We get caught up into our family values, the way we were raised, all that kind of stuff. So would someone share who said no and why? I know someone said no. Who would be share why they said no? We might have changed, me and Paula and Cheryl might have to change your mind, but if not, tell us why you said no.
I'll
You're
jump
probably
in.
like, I'm not saying it now.
No, I'll jump in
Go ahead.
because I basically did that. I'm I'm your age, so I was thinking along those lines. I have to do what I have to do. I had 3 children. I was a single mom, divorced, and at that time I had my real estate license, but I was, I found myself more not so much comfortable because I was never comfortable, but it was more so like I have to do what I have to do. So I had the benefits, for myself and my children. I had to split the steady paycheck. And so just knowing what I was making, at least I could count on that money and know that, okay, I was able over the years, put my children through school, to private school, college. Thank God they graduated college. So now that's done. So now that's when I dove into real estate full time to take that chance. But I do think to myself at times, wow, if I would have took this leap 10, 15 years ago, where would I be now? Because now real estate today is definitely a lot different from what it was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So I find myself sometimes, especially when I'm stuck or a little stressed out, thinking back, because I feel like back then I wasn't as scared to just do certain things or just find myself trying to figure it out. Now I find myself second guessing myself a lot more than I probably would have years ago. But needless to say, I can't go back. So that's why I'm here now. So
I love that. And you can go to the next slide. So basically what I want you to say is with information and a plan, it makes it a lot easier. And that goes for anybody here. If someone's thinking about being let's say you've been an agent for 20 years and you've been successful and you're like, I'm kind of bored, right? I don't know about you guys. After I nail something and it's consistent, it's working. I'm like, all right, what's next? What's next? I could see you being like that too. Like, what's the next thing I'm going to go tackle, or whatever. And I've always been like that. So I think that's the beauty of Keller Williams, though. If I really have to say something about this company, unlike other companies, when people say, results matter and you could be anywhere you want in 5 years in this company, like I'm the perfect example of that because I nailed, again, I didn't say this, other people said I've nailed each level, right? I nailed the agent level. I nailed the market center level. I've nailed the regional level. I nailed the DL level, which was the divisional leader, and which allowed me to get the call from Mark Willis to be the VP of growth for the whole entire company. But again, it's nailing each level, right? It's not like, you got to nail it. And nailing it means doing something that's unlike everyone else is doing, right? A lot of people do standard, I don't know, Al, you were just celebrating some of the top people. They're doing something special to be the top people, right? That means they're exceeding above and beyond the norm, correct?
Absolutely. Sure.
So when you start thinking about like anyone's journey, and I try to not just be about my journey and leaving six figures, I'm trying to correlate with everyone here on this call. I think it comes down to a couple things. And I'm going to talk about, for me, it's lifestyle. And everyone on here, and I know North Jersey is not cheap, folks. I used to live there. Good old South Jersey is different than North Jersey, with house prices and stuff. But I knew there's a certain lifestyle I want to live. So everyone here, you need to know what that lifestyle number is. And for me, with the lifestyle I wanted to live, being a state trooper and having a side job did not cut the amount of money that I needed to live the life I wanted to live, right? For some of you, it might. Some of you are like, I'm good with X amount of dollars. That's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Like I told my brother, he was like, I love being a cop. I was like, don't stop. Keep doing what you're doing. Do your side hustle. You keep doing what you're doing. The question is, are you happy? Right? Are you happy? Are you making the money you want to make? And are you living the life you want to live? And if the answer is yes, then everything's good. If the answer is no, then you got to figure out what's the plan. And kind of the Leave and Stick story plan tells that. And Al, I wanted to share this because I think it's relevant for everybody on this call. Everyone on this call can wealth build. You know what? Let's put it in the chat box so I know you guys are with me. How many people on this call have actually either owned don't include your primary, have owned an investment property, you own an investment property now, or you flipped the property? Yes or no? You've either owned or flipped the property. Yes
Hey, John,
no?
while they're doing that, I was thinking of, I have a similar story. It's kind of funny how I got into well, it's not funny. I get into real estate because my son was sick and I had to quit my job. But I had a job making $500,000 a year. And if there was YouTube back then, when I went and told my parents, I told my mom that I was becoming a realtor, and literally, like, it was instant, like visceral, like she didn't think about it. Tears started flowing. When I said I'm going to be a realtor, the risk of leaving the job and the fact that she just hated realtors. And my dad's response was, why are you doing that? You should take the post office test if you're going to leave your job. So my dad was a cop. It was like one wanted me to take the post office test and one was crying, because they did not want me to be a realtor. And it turned out it worked out all right for me.
Yeah, and I think our stereotype is that, and I think we've changed that over the years with successes that we've all had, and the speed of our success, right? Especially some of these younger, like, I don't know if you guys heard of Montez McRae, the young guy. I just talked to him yesterday, and in 3 years he's doing like 30 some $million, and and it's climbing and things like that. So it's really cool seeing the success of some of these realtors doing it really, really fast. Somebody have their hand up?
Yes.
Go ahead. What you got?
I basically, I don't know if I could ask a question now. I gotta wait for later. But I started when I moved out from New York City to Rockland County,
Okay.
and I realized the process of seeing houses. That's when I decided, you know what, this is for me. I just love it, and that's when I joined. And I don't know if when they said I could start asking questions, can I ask a question now or?
Well, you know what? Why don't we wait till the end? We'll have like
Okay.
10 minutes or so
That's
in the end.
basically how I got this excitement. That's how I got into doing both jobs.
And also, you can throw your questions in the chat. Maybe Al can help with me as well. But I want to just give a point. And all you folks that say yes, awesome, keep investing, please. I think it's the most wonderful thing you could do is build wealth for your family and for yourself. The other thing is, if you don't have money, which I did not have it when I started to invest in real estate, is if you find a deal, you'll find the money. And I don't mean just give someone an MLS sheet, which is what a lot of people do. They're like, hey, I need money. Here's an MLS sheet. I mean, tell them why, get them excited, give them comps, get a contractor out there and give them a packet and say, hey, I got this deal. And I promise you, you will find the money. And I wanted to share, one of my agents on my team came to me and said, hey, I got I'm struggling here. I'm 61 years old. I still rent. We still rent. We don't own. My kids own homes. I feel embarrassed. Financially things are horrible. And I was like, I got to do something about it. So I said to her, I was like, hey, you go out and find a property and I'll pay for it. I'll finance it and we'll split the profits. What do you guys think she did when I told her that? This is right before COVID. What do you think she did? Think she went out and found a bunch of properties and sent them to me? She did absolutely nothing. And then, Al, do you remember what happened on the other side of COVID?
Yeah, of course. You mean
The prices went ballistic, right? So she cost herself probably
a little bit, and then it had the opposite of what we all thought was going to happen, and the market just went on a tear.
So because she delayed and didn't take advantage of an opportunity, she cost herself probably $70,000 because it was a property that we discussed right before that. And the moral of the story is that sometimes it's just you got to be committed and be purposeful yourself, no matter what it is, right? Like, you know, you'll find the success you're looking for when you really want it. And you don't need money to do it. It's just you need a drive and compassion and commitment. And again, she later did it and worked out, and we flipped 3 or 4 homes together, and she's now a positive $400,000 net worth. She owns her home, all that stuff, success story. The point is that she was not committed, and she had the chance to be committed. So I think for everybody on this call, you know, being committed and passionate about whatever you're doing, if it's real estate, if it's mortgages, whatever you need to be. And you can go to the slide after the next. This is the last slide. We already talked about that. This is just, and I share this because I want to show you what me being able to focus on. And this is the org chart with me and my wife. Andrea is my wife. Over the last, pretty much since I've been with KW, this is our org chart of our life. And 23 of these are passive streams. I live in Boca Raton, Florida. Everything on that screen is in the Northeast, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. That's title companies. The only thing to the left that they are jobs. The regional operating principal now of the greater PA region is no longer a job. It's more of a passive stream because I'm not the RD anymore. But pretty much everything to the right is mostly passive. There's a couple market centers that I haven't got checked. There's 2 market centers that were struggling, but most of the other ones I'm making anywhere from 70,000 a year to 500,000 a year. So my point to you guys is all this happened because I started to focus on, you know, where my passion was and being happy and doing things that I actually was good at. And I think, I don't know if it was Cheryl or Paula said about being happy, or I forgot who it was. One of you said about being happy. I'm pretty damn happy now, right? And I'm doing what I want to do, how I want to do it. And you can go to the next screen. But I don't think it would be possible if I really didn't start to reach out and network and have high accountability. So this is the part that I want you guys to take a picture of. This was my, I spent time at John Maxwell's house a couple of weeks ago, and had dinner at his house and was around some really successful people. And he was saying, you know, for all of us, the really, what do you call it? The highest level leaders, they all attribute to mentoring and networking and coaching to why they're successful. And I was so blown away when, like he said, you should be every month, you should be asking someone to go to lunch with you. Someone that's richer than you, smarter than you, maybe they've traveled more than you, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be money. It could be something that you really are passionate about and they know it or have it. Go ask Al to take them to lunch and pay for it, right? Don't be cheap, pay for it. And don't just go to lunch with him. Go there prepared to ask him questions so you can get smarter and you can be faster in getting to what you want in life. And that might be experiences, that might be wisdom, that might be how to do your taxes, whatever it is. But these were the 7 questions that John Maxwell asked when he does his lunch and learns. And he shared one of his stories about John Wooden. And he also shared a story with, what's his name? Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett. And he was saying that one of his colleagues took Warren Buffett to lunch after asking for 2 years straight. A CEO, big CEO, asked him. And finally they went and he said, you got 10 minutes. And with John's coaching over the years, she knew how to like get out of the people pile. And I'm going to talk about the people pile, meaning if you want to get to know Al or John or Gary Keller, right? What separates you from them that they get you out of the normal people pile where they actually know who you are? And so this CEO goes and gets Cherry Coke and finds out that Cherry Coke is Warren Buffett's favorite thing. So before the meeting, she goes and says, hey, I know we only have 10 minutes, but I brought you a little gift and here's Cherry Coke. And he goes there and he's like, you know what? The fact that you brought that Cherry Coke for me, you got as much time as you want with me. So just that Cherry Coke and her thinking ahead, you know, not only did she have questions, but she got the Cherry Coke, got her time, and she ended up spending an hour and a half with him, got wisdom that she changed her life and all that stuff. So these questions, I just want to go through them real quick and then we'll have a Q&A. What's the most important lesson you learned so far in life? Just imagine getting that question answered by someone that your mentor, you really believe in, or you seek to get information from them, that wisdom. How has failure shaped you? Most people say they would never replace the failure, right? It made them who they were. And I'm sure I can say that to a lot of you here. What are you passionate about right now? If you're not passionate about stuff, I don't know if are you going to do what it takes when it gets hard? Are you going to do everything it takes to succeed? So if you're sitting here and you're thinking like about real estate and you're like, I kind of like lead genning, I kind of want to get better. No. Passionate people, you don't have to tell them. You don't have to get them excited to go to work. You don't have to get them excited about Monday. You don't have to get them excited to work a little bit later on Friday. They're just passionate, right? They want it. They want to go for it. So you got to ask yourself that question. What are you reading? Right? Finding out what the heck is Warren Buffett reading? What is John Maxwell reading? I love to know what that is. What have you done that I should do? So that's about experiences. Al, I know you like to travel, I think. So I would love to know what you did and where you went and the hotels you went to, right? That'd be awesome to know. And, I would probably take some notes so I can maybe do that one day. And then
there's not much to know about the Jersey Shore. That's my traveling. So I don't know.
Then I got to know the restaurants, right?
Inside Heights.
And then two more. What do you know that I should know? And then last but not least, always give something back. How can I serve you? What can I do for you? And that's where I would maybe give them something of a gift, something they remember me from, some memento or something. Because at the end of the day, I don't know about you guys. I only get better because I surround myself with better people. And being on calls like this and being around people like Al and some of your leaders here, I see Aaron and a couple other people in here, that's what makes me better. And that's what allowed me to write this book. That's what allowed me to do what I do in life. And I hope, if anything, everyone on this call, Al, I think I told you what I wanted to do is I wanted to get something that everybody, no matter if they're a new agent, they're dual career or whatever, they got something from it. So my gift to you guys is, there's a dual career class that we're doing. So this could be for your friends or something. And my admin put it in the thing, but we are doing a 6-week course for like from scratch from dual career. So we're going to talk wealth building. We're going to give examples of flips. I think someone said about syndication. Actually, Keith James, who's my partner on that, he did like 4 or 5 syndication deals. We're going to go over that and show some examples. So we're going to do that too. So you guys are more than welcome to join that course. And Al, if when I see you, anybody that goes to family reunion that has that book, I will sign it as well at family reunion because I will be there as well. So
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So we got 4, 6, 7 minutes left.
I mean, I would say one thing I just want to say, and then let's open up for questions. It's so true what you said about grabbing lunch with somebody. I love to learn and I go to every class I can, but probably if there's 4 or 5 things at KW that helped me get to the next level, it was a meeting with somebody, some other team leader, some OP, some agent. It wasn't the actual class. It was a conversation in the hallway, the phone call, the lunch. And the greatest thing about this company is you find somebody that's doing what you want to do and you pick up the call. It could be Ben Kinney, John Clyde. It could be anybody. They'll eventually talk to you. Somebody like John Clyde might take a couple of days, but they'll pick up the phone and they'll give you their blueprint. I don't know any other company that'll do that. So for me, the things that helped me, as much as I've gone to all the classes, it's been the phone calls. It's somebody who, said, will you grab coffee with me at family reunion for 10 minutes? And that's how we got the home and auto insurance. That's how we got title, with little conversations of people that I bumped into. So, definitely see somebody that has what you want and give them a call and take them to lunch, take them to coffee, or even just have a phone conversation. It's a great, great point.
Hey, Al, that's why I did it today, because I know you got some people going out to family reunion. I thought they could take that and maybe have some, some sit down time with somebody they look up to.
Awesome. So we're giving out 10 books for people who unmute and ask a question. John has a few minutes. Who wants to unmute and ask a question? I think we have Mr. Galaxy there that has a question.
Talking about me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a licensed mental health counselor. And as I said before, when I started looking for myself a house in in Rockland County. That's when I started seeing it and liked the process. I'm a broker for 9 years. I just joined like a month ago, Keller Williams. I like, meanwhile, the how's it called, the team, and see that it's more kind of a family. But my question is, I want to become a fully time. I mean, I have a passion to help people in mental health, but I want to become a full-time real estate broker. But I have a lot of responsibilities for the big family. Question is, how do I transfer over from becoming full-time real estate broker versus only like, or completely, putting my masters aside and start being only in real estate?
Yeah, so I think it comes back to, and again, we only had a little bit of time today, but really it's your lifestyle number, right? Like how much does it cost for you to live? And then you would have to have reserves. And then also whatever you guys do, right? Like it doesn't have to be real estate. I was talking to a mom that had a husband that was a little bit abusive and wanted to leave. Very simple, like real estate wasn't her thing, but she had like another job that actually made money. So it was like, it's a math equation, right? How much is your lifestyle? Do you have the reserves? And then are you able to make a living, and have the reserves? So some of you guys, if you're realtors, you can make as much money as you want. There's this thing called lead gen, and you could work your way backwards. You have your number, and then you start working your way how many buyers, how many listings, and all that stuff you got to have. So really, I think it's the lifestyle number that you need to live. Get the reserves so you know how much it costs, so you can have maybe 6 months of reserves, maybe in a year if you're a little bit conservative, and then make sure you have a consistent work ethic that allows you to make money when you have a family, which is what I did. And I also had some real estate investments that gave me some passive income as well at the time. So I got some of them, the passive income, but that's not good enough. But the question is, how do I set 6 months I should have reserve? Okay. But the thing is, how do I know confidently that I will succeed? I mean, meanwhile, I see I'm not doing bad. I'm not doing so well, but I like it. And everyone who I already work with, I mean, I have a reputation with them. They will refer me family members, whatever. Question is like, how do I really take it to become a fully, I got it, the backup for 6 months. Okay, that's a good idea. But how do I know for sure? There is no such a thing as reserving for life. But the question is how to really put it in a strong. So you know what? This and this I will do. So that's basically with a team leader or a coach saying like, help me to go to the steps. I should be strong enough to make sure that I can get out, just be fully real estate and drop out from my mental health practices. I think you kind of said it. I think you need to get with your team leader or Al or OP or whatever. And I think you sit down and have a plan and make sure that someone's holding you accountable, have an accountability partner. And I don't know about you, the only person that stops anyone on this call from getting it done is you. You can get it done, but you're going to be the one that's going to have to work late nights when you don't get your appointments, you don't close your number and keep doing it. I know, Al, I know you did it. I know I did it. I told my wife when I launched my first market center, I was like, and we had 2 kids at the time. I was like, hon, the next 6 months, you will not see me. But I promise you, after that 6 months, we're going to have a better life. I think if you ask her, she'll say we have a better life.
Thank
All
you.
right, you got to decide to do it. You got to decide to do it and leave no other option. Just do it. Maybe Afghani has a question.
Hi, John. Thank you so much for your webinar. I really amazed by your advice. And I'm a new agent. And for the sake to get a free book from you, I would like to ask you a question. So my question is, what would be your 3 top advice for new real estate agents? Thanks.
I tell you, the one thing that real estate agents do is they worry about all the stuff but the stuff, meaning they worry about their business cards and their listing presentation, all the stuff, but how to get customers. Like if you focus on customer acquisition, you'll figure out all the other stuff. But I think people get caught up in all the other stuff. And I wanted to share this with you guys, Al. I just heard this and I told it to my market center. Give a person 5 hours to do something, they likely will take 5 hours. Give them 30 minutes, they become very focused and have and more productive and produce more intentionality. I think, the problem with most people is when they lead gen, they're doing everything. Their phones are there. They're distracted. They're not focused. If you're a new agent and you really focus to 2 hours of lead gen a day, and I mean focus, you got all your stuff ready and you just hit the phones. And you have a tracker and you want to make sure you get at least one appointment every day. You do that, you're going to just get better. You're going to win. The problem is no one's consistent. They're not persistent. They're not consistent. And eventually it becomes very, here and there type business or type success, as opposed to someone like some of your top agents that they don't stop. They're machines, right? So
we have a few of them on this call right now. One thing, advice along the lines of what you said, we started doing with our leadership team is lead generating on Zoom. So the team leaders are on a Zoom, they're on mute, they're making calls, but then you can see who's futzing around and getting ready to get ready and who's on the phone the whole hour. And we started doing that, team leaders started setting more appointments because if you have 5 other people kind of watching you, you're not, getting ready to get ready and looking up and doing 30 minutes of research for one phone call. You're making the call. So as an agent, I would do that. Maybe get with a group of other agents and jump on a Zoom and say, we're all going to make calls until we set 3 listing appointments or something,
Hey, Al, and everybody on this call. I seen the time. My wife just reminded me. My daughter's going to Italy, and I have to take her to the airport. So my admin's on this call. Anna, put your email on there. Any question that I did not get to, I promise you, I will answer it. If you email Anna, I will answer your questions. And Al, maybe I'll come back on and we'll dive a little deeper because you got a great group and you're a great leader yourself. And if anything I can do to help you guys, I will.
You're very perceptive as well. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Those of you with questions, just stay on. If John can't answer them, we'll see if I can or one of the team leaders or somebody can. Kevin, did you have a question?
I did, but it's really I don't think she would know the answer to it, frankly. So I have to speak to John directly. I want to ask him about the money. How did he source his money, especially in the early days when he's a newbie? Which, we
have a lot of investors on here. Anybody have any advice for Kevin on sourcing money for investments? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're all thinking, right? You're a hard money lender, private, and I'm involved in that business. But I just wanted to ask what his journey was since he really made it successful, because it's not that easy to get the money sometimes.
Yeah, got
And
it.
he's been doing it for quite some time too. He said he got properties here in New Jersey, right? So
Yeah.
was that 10 years ago? Was it 15? Was it 20 years ago? Properties were cheaper, so now I'm not seeing a client. Then I have $100,000. It's very hard to get into an investment property today. So anyway, that's part of what
I see people buying investment properties every day. I don't know that it's any different now than it ever was. I think that's a limiting belief.
Okay, then show me I'd like to see that evidence of that. I see plenty of people involved in real estate who wholesale properties. Now that doesn't cost them any money. Most people here don't know what I mean by wholesaling. That's a real estate investor term. But and you don't need money for that, and that's okay. And that's how a lot of people make money with no money down. Okay, that's fine. But to get into investment property, are people accepting second mortgages as part of the technique? I'm not seeing that either much anymore today. So anyway, I just want to.
We could definitely talk about it offline. I talk to people every day that are buying investment properties today for sure. It never stops. I mean, there's always people buying and selling real estate in every market. So
I'm not saying they're
if you
not.
want to buy investment properties, you definitely can do it.
I'm saying it just takes money. That's all.
That is true. All right. Anyone else have a question before we wrap it up? I know group. Fazil has somebody for you, Kevin. Maybe reach out to him. Somebody had a question. Top 3 books he recommends to shape his entrepreneurial journey. Who's got a great book that they can recommend? Colleen Kossoff, what's the best book for entrepreneurs? Are you on?
I am, but I'm thinking that's a hard question.
Paula Clark, Cheryl, anybody?
For entrepreneurs.
Think and grow rich.
I'm reading a few.
I was going to say Think and Grow Rich.
And I can't remember well, one of them is, there's 3 different ones. Kevin, they're on the side of our, in our family room. I have the 3 there that I'm reading. And I forgot the names.
Tony Robbins.
It depends on what specifically related to being an entrepreneur. If it's specifically how to set it up, you have, the E-Myth, the lean startup. If you want to learn how to deal with people in building an entrepreneurial business, anything by Patrick Lencioni is great. It really depends on what you want to focus on.
The Millionaire Real Estate Investor.
That's a great one for investors, for the real estate business itself, the real millionaire real estate agent, real estate investing that Ghani is holding up. I like I think the best one to track your results is the 4 Disciplines of Execution. 4DX is a great book. The Advantage. There are a ton. Or you just can Google best entrepreneurial books. Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins, someone said. Atomic Habits. As a Man.
Atomic Habits, yeah.
All great ones. So thanks for that. Anyone else have any, not books, but questions? All right, let's wrap it up. Hopefully you found that helpful today, and hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you very much. Bye.